joining another episode of Not a Great Whisperer, where we interview ordinary people living extraordinary lives. I'm your host, Katy Rey, a fierce leader in the community, empowering you to own your story and embrace everything you are. I love introducing this human because her last name's awesome. Meredith Killingsworth, the sweetest human, has Kill in her name, but I love it. I adore it. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I love being here.
Tell me, who's Meredith?
Oh my gosh. Where do I start? Meredith, I am a mom and I'm a wife and I'm a life coach for women and I'm an athlete.
Yeah, you are.
Yay.
Oh, yeah. I'm always like, God, I got to do a little bit more today because I just watched one of Meredith's videos. But tell me about your community.
Oh,
the
gosh.
best you yet.
Yes,
right?
yes. So I have a online women's community and I started it because I just was craving connection with other like-minded women. And I heard my mentor said to me, if you want something, if you're craving something that you can't find yourself, go out and create it. And so I was like, I'm going to do it. I don't know what it's going to look like, but yeah. So we do, weekly workshops. We talk about, the struggles that we're having in motherhood and life and also the big dreams that we want to bring to life. And
what was your moment where you knew you had to find some balance? Like what was your aha moment as a woman, mom?
It was after I had my son, my first son, and I just remember thinking to myself, like, this cannot be the way motherhood is. Like, I cannot live like this forever. Like, what used to be easy for me, like making time for myself, making time for my husband, doing all these things I enjoy seemed impossible. And I was like, something has to change. And so I started by just going to the gym and making just the hour of time for myself. And I had no idea what it would turn into, but like creating that boundary and saying, I need this for me, it almost was the catalyst for me to say, like, what else can I do?
Yeah. Did you have anyone to look to for guidance like you do for women now?
I had a coach. But he was my personal trainer. But honestly, he was what opened the door to what was possible for me. And by giving me these small challenges, even though it was in the gym, it was me being able to see like, wow, I'm capable of doing really hard things. Now what else can I do? So he wasn't a life coach or like what I do now, but he was that person that opened my eyes to what was possible.
I love that. That's credit, right? Like you don't always have to have a coach or it just be someone who shows you the impossible is possible.
Yeah,
right?
He was almost like a lighthouse like this. And I say that to women all the time. You don't know who's watching you. You don't know who is inspiring you. You're like a lighthouse for that person and like pointing them in the direction that they can go. And yeah, that's kind of where it started.
So do you think, have you always been an athlete?
I've always been in sports. I was in dance as a kid and I was a cheerleader and I played softball but no, I didn't get into like competing. It's called, what I do now is called hybrid racing. And it's basically, it's a lot of running, but then functional fitness zones, which is like pushing and pulling and jumping. And
what is it called?
Hybrid racing.
I love that.
So the different, one's called DECA. It's a, not affiliate of Spartan, but it's like one of Spartan's brands.
Yeah.
You hear of, those Tough Mudder races, but it's called DECA and they're all over the country. There's several gyms probably in this area.
That's super cool. Yeah, I didn't know it was called that. I just watch you running and lifting and pulling. I didn't know it had a name. I was like, wow, Meredith's just being a badass today.
They're like, what's that crazy stuff that you do? I'm like, it's not that crazy, but I just want to be ready for anything. Yeah. I don't just enjoy lifting weights or just running. Yeah. I'm like, I want to work out in a way that's fun. And so I'm always like, let's do something that's fun.
Yeah, and you like challenging yourself. And you're also a coach that isn't like, you have to do this to get fulfilled. Like you strategize with the person.
Yeah, find what you love, find what feels good for you.
What are who are your favorite clients to work with? I know you'd work with anybody, but like, what's your niche?
My niche is high-performing women and female entrepreneurs because they're already really
doing it.
Yeah, they're doing it. And if anything, I need to reel them in a little bit. Like you take care of everybody else all day long and you're running full speed ahead at your job and you've achieved this high level of success, but you're not prioritizing you and what's most important to you, your health, your happiness, your peace. Yeah. And I love working with those women because they want so badly to change. Whereas, a lot of people want to change, but they don't always want to do the work. I find that women who are really driven, they
do it.
are willing to do the work. And if they put their mind to something that.
Well, that's the thing too with coaches, right? We're the mirror that shows them what you can do, and you already know that they have the drive. It's really hard to teach drive. But for you, like some of the big things that you've done for women is really just getting them in a room together, right? Like connecting.
Yeah.
And that just kind of opens the door for them.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. I think that I'm just now getting into that where I'm bringing women together. I just started a local group called Coffee and Connection because I just wanted to be around like-minded women who are also driven, because when you're next to somebody that's doing something really big, you're like, oh my gosh, I can do that too. Or I also want to be around driven women because they'll say, like, you're playing small with your life. Like, let's go, sister.
Call you out.
Yeah. I need people to call me out. And so I just felt really lonely in entrepreneurship. And I know that that's probably an overused term, but it is real. I have incredible friendships, incredible family that support me, but they don't get that world. And so I was like, I want to bring together other women who have dreams in their heart that want to bring them to life and feel supported, and also have people that are like, come along with me, let's go.
And that, I feel that, because people will be like, oh, you own your business. Like, you get to do your own schedule. Oh, you get to do that. You don't realize how many people I'm in front of all the time. And I am sometimes exhausted. And like, I don't want to go to this happy hour right now. But I have to go to this happy hour right now. Yeah. You know, and I do fill my cup up with just being around people with energy. Like, because I'm crazy. But like, I feel like that it might be overly used too, but I don't think so. I don't think people say it enough.
Yeah.
Because we just accept the like, oh, well, we do get to plan our own schedule. But I'm just like, what? Because we have boundaries?
Yeah.
Like we...
and also I say to women all the time, like, you get to decide how you design your life and your days. It's up to you. But so often we listen to what the world says, or we listen to our parents, how they said, you know, you have to go this route, instead of tapping into, what do I really want? And that's something I've been asking myself a lot. And it's been something I've been asking my clients. What does success look like to you? And I asked this question before Thanksgiving, like, for the holidays, what does success look like to you? And what does peace look like to you? Because I don't buy into, oh, I have to be so busy. And yes, the holidays are busy, but you still get to decide. Yeah. And like, for me, peace is just being present with people and slowing down and not being busy, not having all that stuff on my calendar. Yeah. And so when women say, oh, that must be nice, I'm like, you can do it too. You can.
Yeah. I love that. And you're showing people it can be done. Did you ever, other than like your coach giving you that, like, you can do this, did you ever see women like giving themselves that space to have peace and like have rest and set because I feel like I did not. No. The women in my life were always, and not saying my mother's not an amazing human, but like always moving, always sacrificing, always this. And I'm just like, we got to change that up a little.
Yeah, no, I definitely didn't see that in my life. My mom, I feel like I got my confidence from my mom. I've only ever seen her go after what she wants and make it happen. Yeah. And I love that. And I know I get that from her. Like, she's unapologetic. But when I hit that point after I had my son, I'm like, I can't do this. I have to have this piece. I have to figure out a way. And that's really how I dug into personal development and positive psychology and how to create a happy life for yourself. And what are those habits that matter? And one of the things was, it was just super small, but it was about not hitting snooze. Because when you hit the snooze button, your brain goes into what's called like sleep inertia. Yeah. And it's like the first 2 to 3 hours of the day, you have this brain fog. And so when I was, first new to motherhood, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. Of course you're exhausted. But what is a small habit that I can implement in my life that's going to help me? Yeah. And so then I really dug into habit change. And that's where I'm at. That's helping women with their habits and teaching them why it works, how it works. Because for me, if I understand how it works, I'm more likely to go all in on it and trust it. Like, okay, I know this is going to work if I keep putting in the reps versus like, let me just throw spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks.
So I'm going to take your question. What does success look like for you?
Oh my gosh. Success is having time for me every day. It's being present with my kids every single day at some point. It doesn't mean that I have a whole hour. Sometimes it's 20 minutes. And sometimes it's the entire day. Yesterday, I took the whole day. I was like, nothing else matters except for my time.
Love that.
And just being busy doing the things that I truly want to do. And
that's really good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good you find that, right? I feel like I figured out what fulfills me too. And it is just keep going. But that present and your kids, like their demeanor is so different when you give them that attention. Isn't it insane to watch? Mm-hmm. When I don't say like, hold on, I need to answer an email. And I'm just like, yes, what do you need? It's like a total shift in their whole, and you're just like, okay, I need to do this more.
Yeah. My son's been really into doing magic tricks recently.
Yes.
He loves them. But I'm at the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, how many more magic tricks can I get really excited about? But yesterday he's like, Mommy, you're not looking. Mommy, you're not looking. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was for a second, and then I went back and they call you out.
Because you're like, I already know the trick.
Yeah. Totally. But
they do call you out. It's good. They're good accountability buddies.
For sure.
What's one of the big goals you have for yourself for 2024?
Oh my gosh.
Big dreams, we'll say.
Big dreams. I want to grow my community of women to at least 100 women.
Love it.
And I feel
done.
like,
It's already in the universe.
Yeah.
Granted.
Yeah.
Granted.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good.
And just trusting myself more.
Yeah.
I think so often we look to other people, not necessarily for validation, but just for advice. Like, what should I do? No, you already know. It's already inside of me. And since we were little girls, we were taught like, oh, the prince comes and kisses us and rescues us off our feet.
No, thank you.
No,
thank you. And also, I'm sleeping. Why is someone stranger coming in? Like, no, thank you. Opt out.
Yeah, exactly. And so I've been really just tapping into what do I want? What do I need? I already know. I don't need to. It's wonderful to have mentors and business coaches, and I love all that, but always run it through your own intuition.
Trust yourself.
Does this feel good?
Yeah.
And you always know. If you get quiet enough, you always know.
Well, I adore you. You're very inspiring, and you always stick to your core. You are genuinely an amazing human. From the first time we met, we will give Cam a shout out for introducing us. But I do truly believe you're just doing exactly what you should be doing. And I love that. Where can we find you? When's the next connection or website or campaign, whatever you're doing? Tell us all the things.
So at Meredith Killingsworth on
Killingsworth.
Killingsworth.
Spelled exactly
as it sounds. And when I say that to people, sometimes they're like, I'm like, Killingsworth. At Meredith Killingsworth on Instagram, meredithkillingsworth.com on website. On the website.
.com.
On the interwebs. And the next Coffee and Connection, if you're local, it's in Bradenton, Florida, and it's the first Tuesday of every month. And
awesome.
If you go to my Instagram, you can RSVP to it.
To her IG.
Send you all the info.
And you can find this beautiful woman on Not a Great Whisperer podcast, katyrey.com. You are a joy. Thank you for being so flexible today, and I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. This was amazing.